The most impressive thing about Volver is Penelope Cruz. Any film where you get to see Penelope Cruz for 2 hours is a winner in my book. Volver is the ultimate muse picture. Volver is the greatest gift you can possibly give to a muse, and Penelope Cruz was certainly a muse of Pedro Almodóvar's. In Volver, Almodóvar showcases every iconic attribute of Penelope Cruz. Her beauty, her vitality, her strength, her passion, her devotion, her warmth, her complications, her sophistications, her allure, her heroism, the symbolism of her universe. The universe that we orbit as the viewers of Volver. Penelope Cruz's performance is stunning. It's remarkable. It's one of the greatest performances you will ever watch. And Cruz really just sent an arrow directly into my core and made me feel all of it. She was so funny. She was so tragic. Perhaps one of the greatest heroines Almodóvar ever had. And arguably one of the greatest heroines of 2000s cinema. Penelope Cruz was a knockout. She knocked me out with the way that she looks, and she kept me seeing stars by her pathos, by the way that she acted. Volver was a tour de force. In this picture, Almodóvar sealed Penelope's legend. He wrote it with lightning. And it's reverberating all through my soul with thunder. It was hilarious. It was touching. It was warm. It was wanting. It was desirable. It was relatable. It's Penelope Cruz as Raymunda, a woman with a lot of inner demons, a past defined by trauma and abuse, whose mother, who may or may not be dead, has returned and may or may not be a ghost begging for forgiveness from her. And the ghost is played by Carmen Maura, an earlier muse of Almodóvar's. And it's fun to consider that his two great female muses are in a dialogue and open conversation with each other through this film. And it's about the bond of muses. Almodóvar really provided us with a masterpiece with Volver. The heartbeat of this film, I think, is found in daytime television, rerun TV, trash TV. Characters are often seen fully absorbed within the tube. Television does play a key feature, but I think it plays an even more significant feature to the structure of the film. It's your typical Almodóvar melodrama. He's a master of soap opera storytelling mechanics, but here I believe he's incorporating some rather poetic reimaginings of daytime television, especially rerun TV, because Raymunda is kind of reliving the past, reliving past trauma, reliving past abuse. Of course, through the melodramatic lens, it has a certain comic flavor to it that we've come to anticipate from Almodóvar, and we certainly appreciate. I loved the comedy within this film, but the dramatic elements were far more appealing to me, because I feel like they were speaking to rerun television, since daytime TV plays such an interesting role in this film as a kind of motivation for several characters, or at least a clear and obvious and relatable distraction for many characters. The fact that Raymunda is also kind of reliving the past, reliving the trauma with kind of different circumstances, but it's unmistakably a rerun. It's like her life has become rerun daytime television. And I think that's a really fun thing to play with. And I thought Almodóvar experimented with this concept beautifully. He's a master, and this is a masterwork. Almodóvar is once again my hero, telling me that if cinema had a gender, cinema would be a woman. Volver is a film about the ways that women interact with each other, about the ways that families of women interact with each other, about the cinematic sisterhood of women and the feminine qualities of film itself. I love Almodóvar. Almodóvar is breathing new life into me. I revisit these films, I'm rewatching them for the first time in so long, and I'm loving them way more than I ever did before. It's as if I am at the moment where my soul is ready for Almodovar. I'm completely ready for Almodovar to show me all sorts of things and tell me all sorts of ideas. And I'm listening and I'm loving everything. I'm loving it all. Almodovar has reignited my love for film. The best thing about Volver is Penelope Cruz. Her image is arresting. Her image is irresistible. I find her very irresistible, obviously. And through this film, I find her so relatable, which is almost a new thing. It's not like I haven't felt empathy for sex symbols in films before, but in this one, it wasn't just empathy. I understood what it meant through her performance to be the kind of mother that she was, to be the kind of cursed sister that she was, to be the kind of desperate woman in Spain that she was, to be Penelope Cruz, which is possibly the most interesting out of body experience I've ever had with a film, at least in recent years. I understood Penelope, or at least I understood Almodovar's view of Penelope, and perhaps what Penelope wishes she was seen as always. There was such a great amount of dignity to Raymunda, to Penelope's character in this film. There was dignity, there was eroticism, there was this unmistakably feminine strength to her character. There was a great amount of comedy. There was everything here. There was a multi-dimensional Penelope Cruz for me to interact with, and I completely fell in love with her here. I think that her work in All About My Mother is even better, but she wasn't the main focus of that film. But her work in that film is entirely dazzling to me. I think that All About My Mother has Penelope's best performance, which shouldn't speak to any deficit of Volver, but to just how phenomenal her work was as Rosa in All About My Mother. But Volver, I think I understand that this is the film that Almodovar was born to make for Penelope, and it's likely the film that Penelope was born to star in. Few comic heroines have ever been so powerful. I really don't want to understate the humor of the film. Carmen Maura, who is perhaps the greatest comic performer since Charlie Chaplin, made me giggle so many fucking times in this movie. She was amazing. It's an entirely well-rounded picture, and I think it's a masterpiece. And I think the most powerful thing about it is the experience, the experiential qualities of Penelope Cruz in the film. She captivated me. I was captivated by her. Fell in love with her through this movie. Volver is very important. I think it's very funny. I think it's very lovely. I think it's a great examination of motherhood. I think it's a great celebration of women. I think it's one of cinema's finest celebration of women. I think Volver is an extremely beautiful film. And I feel so good, so happy to be so in love with films. Thank you, Pedro Almodóvar. Thank you, Penelope Cruz. Thank you for making Volver. It's perfect.